Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to church. Here we are. Tuesday is sex church. Sunday is that other church. Tuesday is where you come in and you get truth church. That's what we are looking for and playing with today. Hey, y'all, go ahead and say hi if you are watching. And I am here just streaming live today, coming to you from a place in rural Maryland, like a farm area. So my background looks a little different, but what they say about church is that no matter where you are, church is always within. Yeah, church is always within you. And here we are with our church within us. So welcome, say hi if you're watching. I'm just checking out our tech and making sure we are good to go. Here we are. So what do we do at Sex Church? At Sex Church, this is a space for us to talk about the things that and learn about the things that we wish our society had taught us as children, right? We wish that these are the things that we wish we could talk about. We wish we could talk about sex. We wish we could talk about falling in love. We wish we could talk about marriage, not just till death do us part, but what else? What else is there? And if you're on Facebook, excellent. Today is a Sex Church sermon, which means it's just going to be me chatting to you, giving you a download, giving you some channeling about what's here for me right now, what's real about what's up. So just listen in, receive this message. I see you. I see Larry there. I see you here at church. So thanks for being there. Thanks for being here. So Sex Church, we want to create a space where we can talk about the stuff that we don't talk about. Yeah, we can have the church that we really wish we had as kids. Yeah, we wish we had growing up. And it's the type of church where there is no shame, the type of church where there is no right or wrong, the type of church where instead it just ignites your spirit, instead it just brings you back to yourself and helps you remember the power that is in you. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for you remembering your own light, you remembering your own love. And from that space, everything becomes simple. Yeah, everything becomes beautiful. Our life becomes one that is worth telling, because it's truly miraculous what can happen when we finally decide to put our own light first instead of trying to focus on everyone else's light. Yes. So every month I come on here and I do a sermon, the Sex Church sermon. Today is that day. So get ready. If you're a sermon type of person, say yes, type it in the chat. Say you're a sermon type of person, let me know. And then we also have Sex Church Studies, which is a Q&A to chat about the topic that we're talking about that month. We also have Sex Church Socials, where is more Q&A and more embodiment, more communal work. And then we have something called Confessionals, which we do every month, where you get to tell us your sexiest, wildest confessionals. Apparently our church puppy is here with me as well, playing and hanging out with us. A bit distracting, so excuse me if I'm getting a bit distracted by her because she's very cute. Oh my goodness. So confessionals, what is it? We come on and we talk about the things that we have shame still. Yeah, the places in our sexuality, the places in our love life where we still feel like we're hiding some shame. And so confessionals is a time for you to come on and share those stories anonymously so that we can come together as a community, so that we can release any shame, any feelings of it's just me, why do I like this? Yeah, I'm unique in my brokenness, I'm unique in my wrongness. And you can learn that actually, no, it's just kind of being human. Part of life is being so imperfect, especially with sexuality, giving you the chance to mess up, right? And fuck around. That's the kind of church we're running here in the Orgasmic Art community. So thanks for being here for Sex Church. And let's dive into this month's topic. So this month, we're going to be playing with the theme, which is called the apple you sink your teeth in, which just sounds really delicious. I'm going to say it again because it sounds so good. I'm going to say it like this: the apple you sink your teeth in. Yum. What do we mean by that? So we're playing this month with this concept of ourselves being the light for us. Yeah. So in regular church, in certain traditions, it is the pastor, the priest that will save you. Yeah, will bring you to God, will bring you closer to God. And my and sometimes it becomes about the pastor or the priest, not even about God. Yeah. Like it becomes about the church in itself rather than about the magic. This business recently has taken a turn for me over the past 6 months, in that the work that I'm really passionate about doing in the world is making sure that our spirit, the thing that creates the magic of our eroticism, the erotic flow of our life force energy, that's the thing that we're putting as God. Yeah, that we're praying to, that we're creating a church, we're creating a community around that, versus, okay, everything I do, I'm working for the community or the organization, and then we just like happen to have this other thing. The magic is so potent. The eros that's inside of you has been taken away from you for decades and hundreds of years and thousands of years, because it is where our power lies. If you think about life like a really great immersive video game, yeah, we have our erotic nature, and it's as if in this video game it's been put into these treasure boxes very far out at sea in the middle of the island, and we spend thousands and thousands of years just trying to rediscover our erotic nature as power. And now, of course, the video game wouldn't be any fun unless there were all these obstacles, unless there were all these things that were really hard. And so one obstacle of finding our erotic nature and actually dropping into it is the obstacle of thinking that we can only get turned on when there's another person around. The obstacle of thinking that I don't turn myself on, but he does, or she does, or they do. Like it's that person that's making this happen. It's not me and myself. I don't have access to my own arousal on my own. When I self-pleasure, I'm bored. There's nothing there. But as soon as I start thinking about this person, or I fantasize about this thing, yeah, then I'm aroused. And again, there isn't a wrong, it's not wrong, but it isn't satisfying. To create arousal from this external thing, this thing outside of ourselves, we're not satisfied. Yeah. And in order to find our power, we must actually be deeply within ourselves. We must feel satisfied. We must feel full. So how do we feel full? The first thing is recognizing that you actually have the ability to self-direct your own eroticism. So you do not need, if you're feeling turned on, you do not need someone to kiss you a certain way or touch you a certain way, or whatever you a certain way, right? And you don't even need to bring in the fantasy. If you do, it's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but you don't have to every time. And you'll notice that if you do not, and you instead focus on meeting yourself in the place where you're craving to be met, you actually meet yourself there. It is amazing the power that you'll find within you. Now, for a lot of people, the moment that they find this power, they might run into fear. This might feel kind of scary because it's a lot. There might be convulsions. There might be screaming. I mean, it looks like, it reminds me, I used to actually go to church with one of my ex-girlfriends. She would take me all the time. And I remember watching, this was in Baltimore, in Maryland, right near the Mason-Dixon line. So I remember going and watching, and these people would be up toward the pastor, I think he's called, and they would just start having what looks like Kundalini Kriyas. Yeah. So their body would start shaking kind of like this, right? And they'd be speaking tongues, right? And then they'd flopping around, and then they'd flop on the floor, right? And the whole church would go, hallelujah, right? It was like this big thing would happen. It was very exciting. Little did I know what I was actually watching in that moment was eroticism. I was watching these people access their pure, innate erotic power, which connects them back to their God self. Right. And the way that it worked for them was that they felt safe enough in this church. Yeah. They felt enough curiosity for their erotic potential, meaning that they were ready to open their spirit to something new. Yeah. And now the only flip, which is why we do our own sex church, is that I bet these people thought that it was because of the church, or because of the religion, or because of this God thing that's outside of ourselves, right? This Jesus touched me, or God touched me. But it wasn't about, for them, oh my goodness, look at how powerful I am. And here's the little shift that I really want to bring to the world. The reason that those people were on the floor having what I would call Kundalini awakenings, yeah, was because they had finally cleared out enough of their own baggage. They surrendered enough to the energetic flow and energetic force of their power to find themselves again. And my favorite part, can I tell you, my favorite part of these moments of watching these people up, like flapping and falling all over the place and speaking in tongues, my favorite part was afterwards. So they would have these big phenomena. This phenomena would appear. And now the phenomena is not necessary. I'll speak on that in a second, but the phenomena would appear. And I remember afterward, they would open their eyes, they'd sit up, and their eyes would look clear. It would look like they knew something new. It would look like, whoa, they just found a place that I don't yet know. That's what it would look like. And I would go, what is that? What is that? Little 17-year-old heroin addict me would go, what is that? What do they have that I don't have? Yeah. And I got really curious about it because they would have it and it was fleeting, right? And they would lose it again. Here's the problem with thinking that it's the source or the external that brings you to that place, or the baptism or the hot sex or the kinky master, right? Like, right? The problem when we make someone else our guru is that it's fleeting and it becomes addictive. We have to keep and trying to find it. This is also how any addiction starts. With drug addiction, oh, it's the drug that's giving me this feeling, so I must now forever chase this drug. Yeah, I must chase it because it's going to wear off. Versus, can I feel within me complete ecstasy, bliss, and peace within my body? Can I self-direct myself to go there? Perhaps utilizing outside sources, mentors, people, medicines, like whatever, to just remind me when I'm lost, right? To guide me when I'm lost. But then can I take that and can I integrate it? So whenever I have a plant medicine, I have an experience of, okay, here I am on my plant medicine, and then here I am dropping it. Here's my body metabolizing it. And as I'm starting to metabolize it and integrate it, I always ask myself, what was this medicine directing in me that I don't usually know how to direct on my own? So I'll find, okay, there's something different with my body. My breath was different there, or I felt different in my feet, or my mind did this differently. Yeah, or it felt there was somatic cues that were different. And then I can integrate those cues into my waking life. The idea here is not that you direct yourself into constant orgasmic climactic energy all day long. It's just that you have enough capacity to direct yourself into pleasure and acceptance throughout the day, so that no matter what happens, you aren't giving away your power. Yeah. And this is like the thing they don't want you to know. This is the thing they don't want you to know. Like, my hope for all of you is that you find your power so strongly that you create new worlds of possibility that move even beyond my world, that move beyond the orgasmic art community, that you teach me things, that you guide me and show me things. And then I take it and then I integrate it and I self-direct through it. Yeah. And I find my own way of being with it. And then I create another world. We as humans innately are creators. We do this. And we have forgotten that we have this, that we need to give ourselves spiritual permission to create based on how we want to self-direct, how we want to be with ourselves in every moment of every day. So an example could be that you're in your self-pleasure, you're starting to feel arousal, you're thinking about someone else. Yeah. So you're in this arousal state and you're like, oh, it'd be nice if I could just kiss them. Then I'd be good. Yum, yum, yums, right? Then I'd be good. And so again, that's power outside of self. But I need this. It's a yearning concept. It's actually a scarcity. It's actually lack, right? I don't have them. I need them. So what we do instead is we go inward and we say, okay, can I instead direct my own energy to feel the thing that I want to experience with them? So take a moment and do this with me. Think about something that you want, a desire that you have. I'll use childbirth. That's been one I've been wanting, is to give birth again. So I'll use that as an example just to guide you through it. So here I am imagining myself giving birth. So just imagine yourself having these. It could be having sex with someone. It could be making $8 million, like whatever it is, just have that in your mind. Nice. And now feel in your body the emotion. What's the emotion here of this experience? Go into the experience as much as you can. Nice. Feel the somatic cues, feel how the body feels. Drop into the somatics of this. Good. And now direct your energy to have the experience. So you're literally giving the body the experience that you're craving, that you're seeking. Keep your breath going. Good. And now feel the bliss of that, of letting that into your body, of just like, just absorbing that desire in. It's in your body. Your body is directing itself to achieve that experience that you're craving. Yeah, good. Now open your eyes and type in the chat what you notice, what you feel. So for me, because I desire childbirth, I give myself childbirth every day. So when I'm self-pleasuring, I literally will imagine when I'm in directionality. Those of you know the orgasmic arc, it's step 3 of a 6-step process that I channeled to create authentic pleasure and keep it in your body. So directionality, what will literally happen, and I won't even do this with my mind, it'll just come in, is I'll imagine myself giving birth, right? It'll just come in and I'll let it ripple through my insides. And then I'll let myself feel the pain, the pleasure, the bliss, the overwhelm, the surrender, like everything at once. And when that happens, the opening on the other side of it is like, oh my goodness, thank you. And then it's not about the thing anymore. This is a really big key. It's never about the thing. I work with a lot of people that want to open their relationships. This is very common. It's a common client desire. And so I'll get a couple that have been married, that have been monogamous primarily, or maybe someone's cheated, right? But generally there's been monogamous structures, and they'll come to me because they want to know how to create non-monogamy. Now, here's the funny thing about non-monogamy. It does not work if you don't know how to self-direct. It does not work if you're not self-responsible for your own feelings. And a lot of people think they are, but they're not, because they're not actually going into their own energetics and saying, let me move this within me. Let me shift this within me so that I can be my own light. Yeah. And so what will happen a lot is people will crave a particular like outcome. Like, I want to sleep with this particular person and my freaking partner won't let me. How dare they? Right. For example, right. And then they create suffering. Right. And so the work is, which will happen, right? Depending on the terms of non-monogamy, very few people are completely free to do whatever they want, whenever they want, right? There's usually some sort of terms of, hey, we already have an energetic partnership going on. So like, can you just be with me around this instead of veering off and escaping, right? And so, and non-monogamy can be so beautiful because it adds to the relationship, but it can so easily detract if we don't know how to self-direct. And also, if we're struggling to, when we're fantasizing or obsessing or desiring, yeah, we think it's this one thing that we need. And then do you feel how that kind of like, it kind of like becomes an addiction? It's like this one person, this one thing, this is what I need. Nothing else will work. Why can't they give it to me? What's right? And then like rebellious teenager comes in. Yeah. We start to fiend for this one thing. So how do we, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I've been there, I get it. So I don't want to put shame, because shame, oh my God, shame and addiction together. Talk about it's something that will stay in your system for a while. We don't want to do that. But what we can do instead is we can bring in the experience that we think we're craving. Yeah. So the other night I was having we had just started to show my partner some of 50 Shades of Grey. They'd never seen it. And so we watched the first bit, terrible movies, but fun kink scenes. Yeah. And I watched a bit of it. And when we were turned it off, my body started fantasizing, obsessing about a kinky scenario. And it was all grumpy and angry about it, except because in my mind, I was like, I'll never get this. And I want this and I won't have it. Yeah. And then what I did in that moment was I let myself have it. I let myself have that experience. I self-directed my energy quickly through my system and had the experience. And then I realized, oh my God, it's not even about the experience. Often it's just about my own acceptance of myself to want it. You feel that? I just want you to feel that. It's not about the experience, it's about my acceptance of myself to want it. Is it okay that I want this? Yes. The answer is yes, it's okay that you want it. I want all sorts of things. Some are nourishing, some are not. Some are conducive to love, some are not. And so when I have a desire, I feel it in my system. I feel how it feel like, I want some chocolate right now. How would it feel in my system? Yeah. How would that chocolate feel in my system? And then from that place, I choose, do I actually need the physical thing, or can I just be satiated with the chocolate, with the experience of chocolate? We are humans. And it's so beautiful because our lives are set up around experience. There's just like, we just want to experience like everything. It's part of being a human or an animal, right? Like, what experience is this? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? And sometimes if we really like an experience, we want to keep experiencing that over and over again. The trap is when we think that it's about the thing versus the experience of the thing. Do you feel that? We think it's about, oh, when he ties me up like this and smacks my butt like this, then I'll be satisfied. Versus, can I, in my own self-pleasure practice, turn myself on, accept the fact that I want this, even though, let's see, that will never, like, for whatever, maybe that'll never happen, right? Like, I'm not even with a partner, I'm monogamous, and I'm with a partner that will never do that for me, right? So can I instead just let myself have the desire, like, yes, 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 and then direct my energy toward that experience fully and completely. Often the experience will be in one particular part on your body, which is why when we do directionality in the orgasmic arc, we land on one spot. And then that one spot will open. And if you know the chakra system, just a bonus point, if you know the chakra system, it's really cool to see where the desire is in relation to your chakras. Because often there's a lot of intel there. Yeah. Like if I have a lot of desire toward one thing and I notice it's all around my heart, ooh, there's something I can explore there. There's a place that I can self-direct and get even more curious. So this is the theme for this month, like how I imagine a world where there's like 80% of us are self-responsible. Right now, it feels like there's about 5% of humanity. Like, can we increase some of that? And the only way to become self-responsible is to wake up to the fact that you are the only one creating your life. You are the only one creating your life at any given moment. You are never a victim to circumstance, ever, never, never. And so, did y'all just see Sab's foot? There it is. Right? You are never a victim. And so when we realize I create my life completely and fully, let me have experiences, but not get stuck, not put my power on the experience. And if I can't have the experience in the moment, rather than suffering and the longing, let me pull the experience into my body and have an orgasmic experience of the thing before I even have it. This happens to me so often that often my desires will just drop. I'll be like, oh yeah, I want to go, da, da, da. And then I'll like have the experience and I'm like, no, it doesn't really matter. I just pretended to have the experience and it was big enough. And then we live from a place of satisfaction and a place of being able to give. Because if you're constantly thinking about getting the next thing, you can't give. Your life isn't about giving. Your life isn't about sharing. Your life is about getting. And so this self-direction piece is so gigantic and so huge. Now, one last caveat that I will say before I go, I'm going to go and do a Q&A. Actually, Sabs and I are going to do this together on the Orgasmic Arc course community. So if you have the hand, that's really funny. If you have the course, come on to that because you can ask questions about anything, including this. But one last piece is that it's impossible to self-direct if you don't feel comfortable within your own skin. If you don't know how to drop into yourself and be with yourself and be in silence and touch your body and like ground in you, ain't gonna happen, darling. So we start with step 1 of the orgasmic arc, which is which is safety. If you don't know what that is, you can come into Own Your Orgasm. We've got another week, I think. 10 days. We have 10 more days of Own Your Orgasm. It's a workshop, 3-day workshop. Sabs and I did together, and it's all around how to really own your own power in your own skin. So check that out. It's free. It's on Facebook. You'll see links for it here. And safety first. safety first. There's a reason that directionality is step 3. It is not easy to do. We are not used to self-directing. We are used to giving our power away from the second we are in school, really. The teacher is the one with the power. We are not, right? We are the ones with the power we've just forgotten. And now we get to wake up and remember and create a reality that feels so satisfying, so sexy, so blissful, so easy, so full of love. It's just incredible. So I will see you all next week for the next Sex Church, Tuesday at 1:30. And those of you that are in the course, I'll see you in 3 minutes over there for the Q&A. Bye, everyone.